The house is completely silent, except for one tiny voice. Your baby has been crying for almost 20 minutes. You've changed the diaper, you've fed them, you've rocked them until your arms ache, and now you're standing in the middle of the nursery, exhausted, wondering the question almost every new parent asks at some point. What if I'm missing something? What if something is actually wrong? If you've ever had that thought, I want you to know something before we go any further. You're not a bad parent. You're not failing. You're simply trying to understand someone who can't use words yet. Because here's the beautiful truth most people never tell new parents. Babies are communicating with you every single day, not with sentences, not with explanations, but with cries, sleep, feeding, tiny expressions and little behaviors that are easy to misunderstand when you're running on 3 hours of sleep. Today, we're going to talk about 5 of the most common baby problems parents worry about and what they're really trying to tell you. And by the end of this video, I hope you'll stop asking, "What's wrong with my baby?" and start asking, "What is my baby trying to say?" Because that one small shift changes everything. If this video is helping you understand your child better, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps this channel reach more parents. Now, let's continue. A few months ago, I heard a story from a first-time mom named Emily. One night, her 2-month-old son simply wouldn't stop crying. She checked his diaper, fed him twice, walked circles around the living room until sunrise. Nothing worked. By morning, she was sitting on the nursery floor in tears, not because her baby was crying, but because she felt like she had already failed at being a mom. Later that day, her pediatrician smiled kindly and said something she has never forgotten. "Your baby isn't giving you a hard time, he's having a hard time." Sometimes one sentence can lift an enormous weight off your shoulders, because babies aren't trying to make life difficult. They're trying to figure out life itself. And that's exactly where our first challenge begins. Problem number 1. Why does my baby cry so much? Let's be honest, nothing makes a parent's heart race faster than a baby who won't stop crying, especially when you've already done everything you can think of. After a while, your brain starts filling in scary possibilities. Maybe they're sick, maybe they're hurting, maybe you're doing something wrong. But here's something worth remembering. Crying isn't a sign that your baby is manipulating you. It isn't a tantrum. It isn't a test. Imagine waking up in a world where everything is unfamiliar. The lights are brighter than anything you've ever seen. Sounds are louder. Your tummy feels strange after every meal. You're tired, but you don't know what sleep is yet. You can't scratch an itch. You can't ask for a hug. You can't say, "I'm overwhelmed." So you cry, because crying is the only language you have. Sometimes your baby is hungry, sometimes they are overtired, sometimes they're overstimulated after a busy day filled with new faces, sounds, and experiences, and sometimes they simply need the comfort of the person who has been their safe place since before they were born. Here's something that surprises many parents. Have you noticed your baby often becomes fussier in the evening? You're not imagining it. Many babies experience what's often called the witching hour. After spending an entire day taking in a new world, their developing nervous system becomes overloaded. Think about how adults feel after an exhausting day at work. Now imagine experiencing every sight, sound, smell, and sensation for the very first time. That's your baby. They're not broken. They're overwhelmed. Of course, there are moments when crying deserves medical attention. If your baby's cry suddenly sounds unusually weak or high-pitched, if they're difficult to wake, have a fever, persistent vomiting, trouble breathing, or something simply doesn't feel right, don't hesitate to call your pediatrician. Trusting your instincts doesn't make you an anxious parent. It makes you a caring one. But on most nights, your baby isn't trying to make you exhausted. They're asking you to stay close while they work through a world that's still brand new. Remember Emily? The moment she stopped trying to stop the crying and simply held her son close, something changed. Not immediately, he still cried, but she stopped feeling like every cry meant she was failing. Instead, she understood it as a conversation, and that changed the way she responded. Problem number 2, why won't my baby sleep? Can we talk about sleep for a minute? Or maybe the complete lack of it? You finally get your baby asleep. You celebrate a little too early. You gently lower them into the crib, holding your breath like you're defusing a bomb. And the second their back touches the mattress, their eyes open. And just like that, you're starting over. Sound familiar? Here's something that often surprises new parents. Your baby isn't born knowing the difference between Tuesday afternoon and 2 o'clock in the morning. Their internal body clock, the system that helps all of us know when to sleep and when to wake, is still developing. To us, nighttime means rest. To your baby, it's simply another part of the day. So those random wake-ups, the short naps, the evenings where they only want to sleep on your chest, they're usually not signs that you've created bad habits. They're signs of a tiny brain that's still learning how the world works, and that's okay. There's another reason sleep can feel so unpredictable. Just when you think you finally figured out your baby's routine, they change it. Maybe they slept a 5-hour stretch last week and you thought, finally, we've turned a corner. Then suddenly they're waking every hour again. It's frustrating, it's confusing, and if you're like most parents, you immediately start wondering, what did I do wrong? Most of the time, nothing. Babies don't grow in straight lines. Their brains are making millions of new connections every single day. Their bodies are growing at an incredible pace. Developmental leaps, growth spurts, teething, and even learning a new skill can temporarily disrupt sleep. Progress isn't always a smooth climb. Sometimes it looks like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's normal. Of course, there are situations where sleep changes deserve medical attention. If your baby suddenly becomes very difficult to wake, has pauses in breathing, struggles to breathe, turns blue, or seems unusually limp, seek medical care right away. But if you're simply dealing with another sleepless night, know this: your baby isn't trying to make you exhausted. They're learning something every single day, even while they sleep. And one day, almost without you noticing, those long nights will slowly become shorter. Emily told me something months later that made me smile. She said, one night he slept 5 hours straight, and I woke up before he did because I couldn't believe the house was so quiet. If you've ever laughed at that because you've done the exact same thing, welcome to parenthood. Problem number 3, why won't my baby eat? Few things worry parents more than feeding. One day, your baby eagerly finishes every bottle. The next day, they turn away after only a few sips. Breastfeeding may suddenly become difficult. They latch, pull away, cry, and try again. Or they spit up much of what they just ate. It's natural to wonder, are they getting enough? Is something wrong? The reassuring truth is that babies, like adults, have different appetites from day to day. As they grow, they're easily distracted by faces, lights, sounds, and even their own hands. Small amounts of spit up are also common because the muscle that keeps milk in the stomach is still developing. Instead of focusing on one difficult feeding, look at the bigger picture. Is your baby producing enough wet diapers? Are they gaining weight? Do they seem alert between feeds? If your baby refuses feeds for an extended period, has significantly fewer wet diapers, isn't gaining weight as expected, or has forceful projectile vomiting, contact your pediatrician. Trust your instincts, they are one of your greatest parenting tools. Problem number 4, why does my baby seem so gassy? Many parents have watched their baby turn bright red, pull their knees toward their tummy, grunt loudly, and seem uncomfortable. You try burping, bicycle legs, tummy massages, and walking around the house, wondering if you're doing enough. The good news is that your baby's digestive system is still learning. Every swallow, burp, and little bubble of gas is part of a body that's developing new skills. What feels effortless for adults is completely new for babies. Holding your baby upright after feeding, burping often, gentle tummy massage, and supervised tummy time may help. Most importantly, remember this stage usually passes as your baby's digestive system matures. However, if your baby's belly becomes unusually swollen and firm, there's blood in the stool, persistent vomiting, poor weight gain, or constant inconsolable crying, contact your pediatrician. Trust your instincts, they are one of your greatest parenting tools. Problem number 5. The problem no one warns you about. The hardest challenge often isn't your baby. It's the quiet voice inside your own mind. The one that asks if you're doing enough. Maybe you've checked the crib one more time just to make sure your baby is breathing. Maybe you've cried because nothing seemed to calm them. Maybe you've compared your baby to others online and wondered if you're falling behind. If you felt that way, you're not alone. Months later, Emily looked back at one of the hardest nights of her life and said, "That night felt like I was failing him. Now I realize I was becoming the person he needed most." That simple realization changes everything. Babies don't need perfect parents. They need parents who keep showing up, keep learning, and keep loving them. Every cuddle, every midnight feeding, every diaper change, and every whispered, "I've got you," teaches your baby something powerful. When I need someone, someone comes. That's how trust begins. That's how secure attachment grows. That's how your child learns the world is a safe place. If today has been one of those exhausting days, your dishes are still waiting, your coffee went cold, you've changed your shirt because of spit up, and you're wondering whether you're doing any of this right, I hope you'll remember one thing. Your baby doesn't see an imperfect parent. They don't care about the laundry or whether dinner was late. What they know is your voice, your heartbeat, your arms, your comfort. To them, you are home. Years from now, you may not remember every sleepless night, but your baby's growing brain will remember something even more important. When they were hungry, someone came. When they were scared, someone stayed. When they cried, someone held them. That someone was you. And in the end, that may be the greatest gift you'll ever give your child. Please subscribe, like, and click on the notification button for a new video.